Okay, so with Boruto Chapter 3 dropping next week, I do want to make a video talking about your predictions for this upcoming chapter. Many of you guys have been asking me to make some predictions for whenever the next chapter comes around, but if I'm going to be real with you guys, when it comes to predicting the Boruto manga, every time I say something that I think is going to personally happen, the exact opposite actually happens when the chapter comes out. So it's always the funniest thing to me, and to be honest with you, every time a chapter is coming up, the only thing I can really say is expect the unexpected. So for Boruto Chapter 3, when it comes to making predictions, I want to read your guys' predictions for this upcoming chapter. This is something that I've been thinking about doing every single month because when it comes to prediction videos, I'm always wrong. The one thing I gotta say about the Boruto manga is the manga is very unpredictable, and that's what kind of keeps me going when it comes to reading this manga, as even though it is a monthly manga and sometimes the hype can die out after a couple of weeks, especially with the spoilers and leaks coming out basically a week before, where the entire chapter is already out before the official release, the hype tends to go away after a week of the chapter releasing. So when it comes to making predictions, it's incredibly difficult. I do want to do this on a monthly basis, and if you guys do like it, I will do this every single month before the chapter does release. So I do want to clarify that at the time of this recording, the spoilers for Boruto Chapter 3 has not come out yet. They should come out in the next couple of days, so I already have about 54 replies to this community post. Let's begin right away. There's gonna be a lot, man. I hope we may finally see Momoshiki and what happened with him, because he told Boruto that he was going to keep torturing him until he gives up and he could revive. But even if Boruto seems to have a different mindset now, still seems like Boruto is in charge. I hope the Momoshiki topic is at least discussed in chapter 3. Hope we get to see Amado as well. Yeah, that's definitely something I've been asking since it's been 3 years, and even though we know that Momoshiki cannot be resurrected anymore, it was stated in chapter 67, I would like to see Momoshiki. Where is his mindset at? Because Momoshiki, he was banking on Boruto to break it down after the omnipotence occurred, but Boruto stood on business and he didn't give up his own life, and that's why we see him today chilling. Even though he was still affected by omnipotence, you can clearly tell that he is still in control for his body. Yeah, I would love to see Momoshiki next chapter, and as well as Amado. We haven't seen him yet. Next we got a comment from Samurai. Definitely shows what Rasengan Vortex or Rasengan Uzuhiko does. Yeah, we'll definitely see that, but I think it'll show more combat, and maybe Boruto will reveal why the Ten Tails is a threat and Code will still ignore it, and we might get Kawaki, Code, and Boruto's encounter. We might or not might see Sasuke, but hopefully we'll see how far Sarada advanced, or maybe Mitsuki in action. Yeah, I agree. Chapter 3's gotta be a heavy combat chapter. There's gonna be a lot of action with Boruto doing his Rasengan Uzuhiko in the last page of chapter 2. For sure, man. It gotta happen. We'll definitely see how powerful Rasengan Uzuhiko will be. I think it's gonna do a lot of damage. I'm really hoping it isn't just a bigger Rasengan or a bigger vanishing Rasengan. I've seen some of you guys say that in the comments to the last chapter review. I think it'll be a lot more than that. Revealing why the Ten Tails is a bigger threat, I think that would be interesting. I still think that's going to be kept secret for a little bit until we actually see the massive threat that it truly is. And I definitely do see Code ignoring it because, at least through his perspective, he can control the Ten Tails pretty easily. The Uzuhiko Rasengan is probably a way to pay homage to his lineage and teacher. For example, Sasuke's Chidori Nagashi and Hyuga Kekkei Genkai have the ability to expel chakra from every single part of their tenketsu, making 8 trigrams palms rotation, is what I hope so. I think it would be cool. I have discussed that. I've seen many people in the community say that this is something similar to Sasuke's Chidori stream, as well as the 8 trigrams palm rotation. If that is the case, that would be pretty damn cool, considering that when you look at the Rasengan Uzuhiko, or whenever a Rasengan user forms the Rasengan, you see the chakra swirls forming around their palm, but since it's around Boruto's body, that would be a good way to be similar to something like a Chidori stream or the palm rotation. Next comment, Amado finally makes an appearance and is shown he is immune to the Shinjutsu and makes a move with his plan toward bringing his daughter back. I think it is factual that Amado is trying to bring his daughter back. My question is, why hasn't he tried it before, right? It's been 3 years, and now that Kawaki has his karma seal back, Amado did state that the reason why he brought the karma back to Kawaki is for Kawaki to implant a karma for his daughter to come back. It's been 3 years, and why hasn't Amado done that during the 3-year time skip? It's kind of weird. Maybe he needs something from Boruto or Code, for example, and since they weren't in the village for the past 3 years, maybe that's why he now can bring his daughter back. That's actually a pretty interesting point. Good point. Boruto will show off some cool moves. I agree, for sure. Code will pull out something, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully, man. And we'll get some more hints about the Jubi. It's possible we'll get some news about Sasuke or Amado, but they might wait for a reveal. That's true. That's true. Boruto fighting Code. This is Boruto's first fight in the time skip. We obviously saw him use the Kenjutsu against the Claw Grime army, so he's obviously a lot stronger than before. He has a much more jutsu variety because he's using a sword. So I definitely do think outside the Rasengan Uzahiko, he's going to show a lot more variety in his jutsus. Boruto already has a very deep bag when it comes to his tricks and abilities, so I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls out more abilities or maybe some even more powerful jutsus that we haven't seen before. Boruto's Uzahiko Rasengan is like a black hole at point blank range that disintegrates whenever a person touches it. Because why would he use it in the village since he's trying to protect, since it could potentially destroy a country or something like that? Even if you use a jutsu that is incredibly powerful, I doubt Boruto would want to use a jutsu that would destroy his own home. Boruto obviously would have control over it if he's using this jutsu for the first time. Either we learn about what happened to Sasuke or he comes back. We probably see Code and Boruto fight. A lot of people have been saying that, and I have a feeling Boruto and Sasuke found out where Naruto went and have a plan to defeat Kawaki without killing him. Well, here's the thing, Kawaki told Boruto that he sealed Naruto away in the Daikukoden dimension. Boruto obviously told Sasuke about this, so I think this is definitely possible because it's been 3 years and outside of training and running from Code, they definitely had this conversation on bringing Naruto back. And since Boruto knows the truth about everything and Sasuke, despite being affected by omnipotence, he still believes Boruto simply because Sarada was begging him and with the fact that she unlocked her Mangekyo. I think Rasengan Uzahiko will turn him into a living vanishing Rasengan where he disappears, but the Rasengan cloak itself around him will attack the opponent like a normal Rasengan, and maybe he can also still attack as well at the same time. That would probably be my variant way to incorporate it. Also, if he cloaks all of the Rasengan Uzahiko into a sword, that would be cool. Oh my god, that's that's so much. As well as like an invisible sword with Rasengan energy around it like a saber from Fate, if you know what that is. However, though, out of nowhere, Boruto starts to realize that his cloak is starting to disappear. Do you see where this is going? Because then Code opened his Scar Eye and has the Rinnegan in there, which is how he absorbed Boruto's Rasengan Uzahiko. And he basically got this by using the claw marks to teleport the Rinnegan the Clawgram had in his eye to his eye, which I think makes sense and would be cool. And then they have a real battle where Code uses all of his powers of the Rinnegan, just like Pain, and in the end, maybe like Mitsuki appears, and then it could be like a battle royale. Or then Code decides to leave if he's too tired after fighting Boruto, and that's how Boruto vs Mitsuki happens next chapter. And Kawaki will come into that chapter 2 at some point. And I think this is how they're hyping up Boruto. He might just absolutely treat Code like a ragdoll and make him run away like a scaredy cat. And then Boruto vs Mitsuki happens. But look, I'm trying my best to make Code at least look intimidating and look like a threat, okay? So give me a break, and I'm just going to hope the first option happens. Yeah, I mean, you basically described Boruto and Code happening. Yeah, Code gotta turn up, dude. Code has to turn up because, listen, dude, I tweeted this out so many times. I understand a lot of people are telling me just wait for Code to do something, yada yada yada. But listen, bro, it's been 2.5 years since Code has been made the main villain in this series, where he's been the main focus, pushing the plot and whatnot. And every time he does something, it's at the expense of him getting humiliated. And I agree with you, man. Code gotta do something, man. He has to establish himself as a threat. He is a threat, of course, with the 10 tails and how powerful he is. But in this upcoming chapter, Code gotta stand on business, because if he gets embarrassed again like he has in the past many chapters, it's not gonna look good. It's already looking bad, and nobody's really going to take him seriously, at least from an audience perspective. At least from a narrative perspective, he is taken seriously. He's a massive threat with the Ten Tails army, but if he loses again, it's just like, bro, come on, dude. And I think Code will do some significant damage in this upcoming fight. I don't think he's going to get ragdolled by Boruto. I truly think that Code is going to put up a really good fight. And honestly, I think Boruto is looking down on Code too easily. Maybe Boruto is just that strong, since we really haven't gotten any feats yet, but I see Code potentially having a Rinnegan as well, because since he can control the 10 tails and he can basically see through all of them using his claw grimes, it's definitely possible for him to use a Rinnegan, since not only that he lost his eye, he has a scar, so it would make sense if he has the Rinnegan and can access its abilities. Code plays along until he one-shots the MC. I doubt he will one-shot Boruto, but at the end of the chapter, it reveals a Jubi is that missing lower ranking Otsutsuki fused with it, similar to how Kaguya did. Code then reveals new power plus dojutsu. You know, in my opinion, I think Code's gonna get a new power up. He's gonna progress in power because I don't think this is Code's end. I think he's gonna finally overcome his struggles. I did mention in my last video that he will get killed by the Ten Tails, but I definitely do think before he goes out of the story, he will find a way to progress himself as an Otsutsuki and get a new dojutsu, such as the Rinnegan. I think that Boruto will start cooking Code, and then Code will either retreat or Kawaki will get to Boruto and Code, and Boruto might be forced to retreat. I don't think Boruto will retreat at all, simply because the village is under attack by the Ten Tails, and Boruto and Kawaki have the same interest in protecting the village. Now, Kawaki of course wants to kill Boruto due to his Otsutsuki extermination plan, but Kawaki still values the Leaf Village as his home. It's quite clearly shown in the first couple of chapters of the time skip. You see him protecting Himawari, vowing that he's going to eliminate all of the Claw Grime army one by one. So I don't think Boruto will retreat, but I definitely do think Kawaki will somehow meet up with Boruto and Code. We might get a team up or a three-way battle. Off the promotional news we probably got some more info on Sasuke and the reason why Sasuke gave Boruto his sword. Hopefully during the fight with Code and Boruto, it gets interrupted by Mitsuki. Damn, I did see the promotional news. They did talk about Boruto's katana and his ability to use it. It would be cool to see why Sasuke gave Boruto his stuff, because that hasn't been addressed yet. We knew that it was going to happen eventually. So I really hope we do see Sasuke next chapter. A lot of the stuff that you guys are saying are very similar to each other. Code adds another L to his astonishing collection. Hey man, I gotta heart that shit. That's a facts right there. I gotta keep up with the Code agenda. No cap. I don't see Code getting embarrassed again. There is a possibility that he could lose again to Boruto, but I don't think it's going to be an embarrassment. Same way how Code went against Damon. Damon just sat on him. Or how Momoshiki shot him with the Rasengan. I don't think it's going to go out that way for Code. But it's a possibility that Code could lose to Boruto. However, in order for Code's goals to progress, he's going to have to catch a W one way or another. But my Code agenda is never going to stop. Lore, like what happened the last time they fought, what Code's plan is truly, and maybe a Sasuke tease or shows what happened to him. Yeah, I agree. Getting some more information what happened over the time skip, what happened to Sasuke. We know what Code's plan is, but getting some shit about the Ten Tails, about what Boruto saw from the future, since we know that he can see glimpses of the future thanks to Momoshiki's Byakugan, that would be interesting to know what is Boruto truly fearing about the Ten Tails, and how Code is going to take actions with it. Rasengan Uzahiko is a wind plus lightning release Kikagenkai that is both offensive and defensive. Code is going to get bit by one of the Claw Grimes or just one with the Rinnegan. Sasuke is a tree, or worse, the Claw Grime with the Rinnegan. I don't think Sasuke is a tree, yo. Imagine, bro, next chapter drops and we see Sasuke as a fucking tree. Nah, bro, that's disgusting. No cap. That's not right. I've already come to acceptance that Sasuke is definitely going to die one day. That's just how I see it. He's going to get killed off by either Code, maybe Kawaki's going to go for the kill, maybe Momoshiki ends him off. But if he has turned into a tree during the time skip, I have no idea how I would feel about that. Because killing Sasuke off screen, I've said this so many times, but I think that's kind of ass in my personal opinion. I still think he's alive. Sasuke is too savvy to get killed by a Claw Grab in my opinion. I still think that he's still somewhere lurking in the shadows, preparing to make an appearance, or he's getting intel about something. We don't really know where Sasuke is right now, but I don't think he's gonna be a tree. I do agree that Code is going to get bit by the Claw Grimes, but I don't think it will happen next chapter. I think Code is still in clear control over it. He doesn't realize that the Claw Grimes will go out of his control, at least in the near future. I agree. I think the Rasengan Uzahiko is going to be both offensive and defensive, and I really want to see how powerful it is. I really hope they don't flop with it and it doesn't do any damage. I truly think that this is going to be something very impactful in this upcoming fight between Boruto and Code. Next is Boruto's Uzahiko Rasengan is going to get shrinked by Kawaki, and Konoha elites jump Boruto, forcing them to flee and fight Code somewhere else with Kawaki too, while the others focus on defeating the remaining Ten Tails soldiers, or Boruto simply blasts Code out of existence, forcing him to resort to the true powers of Ten Tails. I agree with the second part. I don't think Boruto's jutsu is going to get shrinked by Code. It could be, but since Boruto is going to use it on Code, Kawaki's going to have to somehow get to where Boruto and Code are fighting. Now all three are in the village, however, they're not in the same vicinity of each other. Chapter 1 kind of blue-balled all of us because the last page showed Boruto, Kawaki, and Code seemingly facing off with each other, but it was just Boruto and Code in front of each other and Kawaki somewhere else in the village where he's fighting the Ten-Tailed soldiers. And I think that's what's gonna happen. I think Kawaki's gonna continue to fight the Ten-Tailed soldiers since they are a much bigger threat. And Boruto, on the other hand, while he's gonna continue to battle Code, Boruto's main motive is to stop the Ten-Tails. He even asked Code, show me the main body so he can kill it. Next is from my boy Ocean Waves. Sasuke will finally be seen, or at least mentioned. Code versus Boruto will not be as one-sided as everyone is saying. I agree with this, and Jogan will appear, not Kobe. Yeah, I see that, bro. Sasuke is dead, let it go. I don't think he's dead. I really hope we get some mention of Sasuke, or at least get to see him. And I agree, I think Code versus Boruto is going to be a lot more closer than people are anticipating. I've seen people say that Code will destroy Boruto or vice versa, but I think when it comes to Boruto coming fresh off a time skip, especially with how they implied that Code basically beat Boruto when they fought during the 3-year time period, I think Boruto's really going to show out. But if he's going to catch a W, I think it's going to be a difficult one, especially with how powerful Code is. I know we all make fun of him for being a jobber and a fraud, but he's still one of the most powerful characters in the series, so this battle is going to be pretty tough for Boruto to win. Next is from Wrath, Code fighting alongside his Clawgrams to try to kill Boruto, while Momoshiki is trying to distract Boruto by telling him that the amount of people dying due to the Clawgrams and how the village is being destroyed due to all of this chaos. People have said it before, but I'm trying to see him next chapter. With Boruto knowing what's going to happen with the Ten-Tails, saying that it's going to be a horrible future for everyone, Momoshiki is definitely going to egg that on. I definitely do see Momoshiki making an appearance next chapter and basically taunt Boruto. We saw this when the Omnipotence occurred. He was making fun of Boruto, saying like, hey boy, how do you feel about losing absolutely everything? And even though Boruto somewhat overcame the Omnipotence by not giving up his body, I think Momoshiki is willing to bank on anything for it to allow to essentially break Boruto's resolve. And what we've seen from Boruto so far in the first couple of chapters of the time skip, his resolve is crazy powerful, but he knows something that nobody else knows, and that's why Boruto's trying to kill the Ten-Tails. So that's a good point, man. That's a really good point. Just imagine if Sasuke appears in his time skip design as him with super long hair like Madara. That would be so cool. A new design from Sasuke would be awesome, for sure. Sasuke's death flashback. Fuck no. Come on, man. It's already been 2 chapters and we haven't seen the GOAT, and I'm starting to get worried. Hey, me too, bro. Me too, wise. Boruto versus Code is about to look like the 73-9 Warriors versus the 7-59 Bobcats. Nah, bro. I disagree. I don't think it's going to be a one-sided. I don't think Boruto's going to pull up from 40 feet like Steph Curry or do fadeaways from the sidelines like KD against Code. I don't think that's gonna happen. Boruto and Code's fight will be interrupted by Kawaki or Mitsuki, and Boruto will prepare to fight Kawaki, but Sasuke will stop him just like how Orochimaru stopped Sasuke in Shippuden. Obviously, Boruto wants to stop the Omnipotence. In order for that to happen, he's gonna eventually have to battle Kawaki, but I think Code is a more bigger threat with the Ten-Tails army, and with Kawaki right now, I think he might want to prioritize the village over Boruto. Even though he wants to kill him, there is more at stake with this Ten-Tails, but I think Boruto will tell Kawaki that whenever they face off, because even though Kawaki wants to kill Boruto, if Kawaki realizes how powerful this Ten-Tail Clawgram army can truly be, they might want to take down the Clawgrams together, or at least find a way to stop it before they actually fight each other, because that fight will eventually happen. But I think with Boruto and Code fighting, I'm not sure if it will be interrupted right away. I do see Mitsuki or Kawaki jumping into the mix between Boruto and Code though, so that's a good point. Code being stepped on in the worst way possible. I guess it's in his character for him by now. I don't see his shining moment being any close. That's possible. That is possible. I've said this a lot of times in many videos, but Code has been written as a loser. He's been portrayed as a loser. He's always taken the L's. He's always gotten the worst when it comes to any situation he's ever been. And at least me personally, I really hope this turns around for him, because I ain't gonna hold you, I'm not the biggest fan of him as a main villain. He's not a bad character. He's obviously pushed the plot, but at the expense of him getting embarrassed. So, you know, him getting stepped on, it's definitely possible. The way Boruto's talking about Code, yo, I can beat you easily. Killing you is not gonna be a problem at all, but I really hope that Code has something up his sleeve rather than just just bouncing around the clograms, teleporting amongst each other, and relying on his taijutsu, because that won't be enough to take down Boruto. I disagree. I don't think he will be stepped on in the worst way possible, but losing is an option for Code. I wouldn't be surprised if he loses again, but if he does lose, it's going to be in a tight situation where Boruto and Code are basically 50-50. And since they are fighting, I don't think it's going to be one chapter, it's going to be a lot longer. Some clashes in the memories of the past. I definitely do think we should get some information about what more has happened over the 3-year time skip. We've gotten some information, but getting some information about what happened to Sasuke, how Boruto got stronger, what exactly happened when Boruto and Code fought each other would be cool to see. Jogan reveal. Flashback to Boruto using it to understand what's happening with the Ten Tails, and plus flashback of the fight that occurred 2 years ago. I definitely do think we might get some information with the fight that happened 2 years ago. I'm not sure about the Jogan, my boy. It would be cool, but I feel like they're gonna save it up. I don't think this is something that's gonna be shown right away, because this is a power that really hasn't been shown in the manga at all, and I think they're gonna save it for something even more bigger. Boruto's gonna have like a movable 8 trigrams, I guess. I'm really hoping we get some more abilities, man. I just want to see Boruto more powerful. Sasuke pulls up in Shikamaru's office to talk. If he does come to the village, I think he'll show up to the battlefield first. I don't think he'll pull up to Shikamaru. I mean, he could. Sasuke is kind of like the king when it comes to gathering intel, so if he does pull up to Shikamaru, it'd be for intel purposes only. But since he's considered a rogue ninja since he's left the village alongside Boruto, I don't think confronting the Hokage right away would be the smartest move. Even though we all know Sasuke is stronger than Shikamaru, you know damn well there's gonna be other ninjas around, so I don't think Sasuke is gonna be willing to fight his own people. If he does pull up, I think he'd be on the battlefield with Boruto, in my opinion. I hope I see Sasuke and Mitsuki in this chapter. We'll definitely see Mitsuki next chapter, but I think Boruto's going to brutalize Code so much, he's gonna be on real demon time. Hey man, if he does that, that's fair. Boruto gonna cook everyone? I hope so. Boruto almost kills Code and Kawaki meets Boruto, but Boruto ignores him. Maybe. Flashbacks to time skip content? Definitely, man, for sure. Code won't get damaged by Uzuhiko. This is a good point, bro. Code won't get damaged by Uzuhiko. Fair enough. In my opinion, I think he will. I don't think it will be enough to kill him, though. I don't think Code's gonna go out like how some people are saying that Boruto's gonna destroy him right away. I think Code will definitely put up a fight, but I think he will get damaged by the Uzuhiko a little bit and then fight back. But fair enough. I think Ada going to see Boruto for the first time. I think she's gonna fall in love with the new Boruto. I doubt it, man. She knows what's going on around the world, so she knows what's happening with her Senringan, of course. Since she's the all-knowing and she has information to absolutely everything, I don't think she's gonna have a crush on him right away. I don't think Ada really has a crush on Kawaki either anymore, since she did state that she was kind of disgusted by how Kawaki was acting after the omnipotence. Momoshiki takes over. Hey man, that could potentially happen. I'm not sure if that will happen next chapter, since it seems like Boruto has full control over his body, but that's definitely a possibility. Flashbacks maybe, that'd be cool. I want Code to die. His time's up for being a villain. Hey man, I kind of feel that I'm 50-50. I'm on the fence about it, because on one side I feel like Code is just being wasted as fodder, even though he really shouldn't be. He's incredibly powerful, he's pushing the plot, but he's getting embarrassed every time he does something. But at the same time, I'm trying to see him overcome it, because once he does overcome it, I think he would be a pretty cool badass. Even though there are some problems I do have with this character, such as how did he come to become obsessed with the Otsutsuki? What made him see Ishiki as this god? That really hasn't been explained yet. It makes Code seem a little bit shallow, but if Code does turn up, I'll respect him, man. Code being a fraud as usual. Code loses badly. I don't care. Wow, I'm gonna re-comment after the spoilers. So JK, you're good, bro. Code gets Damon by Boruto. Hey man, there's a lot of people that are predicting that Code's gonna get destroyed. I do see Code losing, but I think he's gonna put up a really good fight. I really hope Boruto versus Code isn't just a one-sided battle. Some people are saying Code's gonna get destroyed, other people are saying Boruto are gonna get destroyed, but I really hope that when it comes to Boruto versus Code, we get something pretty even. While Boruto has become incredibly powerful, and in my opinion, I think he might just be stronger than Code, I don't think Code's gonna go out that way. If he does, hey man, sucks to suck. Code, you're not standing on business, my boy. I've given you 3 years plus a time skip. I've said it in my last video. If Code's gonna turn up, now is the perfect fucking chance. I think everyone can agree Code has been given so many chances. He's been bottling it over and over again. This is your last chance, bro, because I know you're the Ten Tails army. I know you feel like the shit right now, but Boruto's finally home and he is ready to kill, man. I ain't gonna lie, Code, you gotta get back. For all those L's you got, me personally, I wouldn't want my favorite character to go out like that, and I really hope Code does something. A lot of you guys' predictions are Boruto versus Code, Momoshiki, Sasuke, Amado potentially showing up, and flashbacks. I do agree with you guys. I think obviously Boruto and Code is going to happen. We'll see what actually happens in this upcoming fight. I was going to make a video talking about how both characters are going to win, but I'll wait for that until the next chapter drops, since we really haven't gotten any real feats from Boruto yet. And same thing goes for Code in his no limiters form. Even though he has control of the Ten Tails, we really haven't seen both characters fight each other yet at full power, which is going to happen next chapter, so we'll wait and see. But all I'm going to say is, like I said in the beginning of this video, expect the unexpected. So let me know how you guys feel about this video in the comment section below. What are your predictions for Boruto chapter 3, and who do you think is going to win between either Boruto or Code? I'm going to say Boruto with this one, but it's going to go to decision. I don't think it's going to be a first round knockout for Boruto using the Rasengan. I think it's going to go the distance between both characters, with Boruto eventually overcoming it and potentially the Ten Tails doing some massive damage. So let me know how you guys feel about all of that in the comment section below. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.